Hey, board gamers, BJ from Board Game Gumbo here, back in the Gumbo Pod. It's episode number 167, Gumbo Live, the number one Facebook Live talk show in Austin, Texas on a Tuesday night dedicated to board games. I'm not sure if our guest knows why I picked Austin, Texas. We're going to get to him in just a second about that. But Gumbo Live is Gumbo Live it's episode number 167, and tonight we have a special guest. It's Gregory Alford from Food Truck Race. He's a designer and the publisher, and it's coming out on crowdfunding pretty soon, but I'll let Gregory talk to you about all that. I got a couple of quick show notes before we get to our guest, and that's the Southern Board Game Fest. Let me pull that up real quick. Board Game Gumbo is going to be there at Southern Board Game Fest 2025. Come on down to beautiful downtown Lafayette. We're going to be doing our SOBO event. That is our annual convention. It's a benefit for New Hope Foundation. We are getting close to selling that thing out. So if you get a chance, I know Patrick and Cindy Newman are going to be there. If you get a chance, get your badges and come meet us on March 29th and 30th right here in beautiful Lafayette. I have the scheduled events posted because I wanted to point out that we still have a few free tickets. If you get your badge, you can get a guided playthrough by people that know the game, are passionate about the game. Games like Wormspan are available, and Planet Unknown we just posted today, and we've got some spots there. But call your attention to the top. Our old buddy Jason Dinger is going to be there, the designer of Captains of the Gulf and Crescent City Cargo. His newest one is the Acadians, and he's got one spot left. So come on, people, get your badge and get that spot. You're going to get a guided playthrough by the designer, Jason Dinger, and Jason's going to tell you the stories behind the game, and that's so much fun. So make sure that you get that. That is Southern Board Game Fest, or as we affectionately call it, SOBO, and that is coming up March 29th and 30th in beautiful downtown Lafayette. But enough blather. Let's get right to our guest. It's Gregory Alford from Food Truck Race. Welcome to the show, Gregory.
What is going on, BJ? How are you tonight?
All right, I got to hit you with a trivia question. Why did I say we're the number one board game Facebook Live talk show in Austin, Texas?
I'm going to hit you with the triple threat, and one of these has to be right. I'll be very embarrassed.
Okay, good. Wait, are we doing math with threes again?
You know, I'm a math guy. I'm not a math guy. Do not let me lie to you on the show. I lived in Austin, Texas for 13 years. I absolutely love Austin. So that might be reason one. Reason two, the inspiration for Food Truck Race, and the reason that it's not a civilization development game, is because of the Austin, Texas food truck scene.
Oh, Stevie's got it.
And
what was your third one? What was your third one?
My best friend in the world, Holden, is in Austin, Texas, watching this from Austin right now. So,
hey, Austin,
Holden, if you're watching, good to see you, buddy.
Now, I did not know the third part, of course, but the second one, actually, Steve knows that in our, what is it now, our 8th or 9th or 10th season, we're getting a little lazy around here, and I'm using ChatGPT to do some of the research. So I was like, what's the number one food truck capital of the world, of the United States? And there's a lot of different cities, by the way. LA was one of them. Orlando, surprisingly, has tons of food trucks. I didn't know that. But trucks. Austin consistently came up in all the different web searches that I had as the food truck capital. Do you know why that is?
A couple theories. One is that Austin has a long history of drifters and miscreants who
keep Austin weird.
Keep Austin weird, right? Two, Austin has two seasons, summer and less summer. And less summer is the perfect time to eat at food trucks. Right. And then three, I think I'm going with rule of threes tonight, I guess. Austin is big for food culture, but it's also big for music culture.
That's true.
And nothing brings out food trucks quite like music festivals. And I actually know a couple people who went to Austin, taking their food truck there for Austin City Limits, and then ended up staying and still live there 10 years later.
But you're not from Austin, right?
Not originally. Omaha, Nebraska.
Oh, okay. I thought you were a NoCal guy.
No, I am living in Oakland, California today, but my roots are in the Midwest.
Nebraska. I've been to Omaha.
Dude, same.
Anywhere near there? Council Bluff, Iowa,
yep.
Omaha, Nebraska?
Yep. Omaha, Nebraska is born and raised out in the suburbs in a small town called Elkhorn, and took off at 18 for school and haven't lived there since.
I loved my visit, my one and only visit. Well, actually, I've been to Omaha twice. My wife's family's from Iowa, but we went up there for an LSU baseball game with the World Series. And I tell people all the time, Omaha was amazing because you could eat off the streets. You could literally drop food on the streets and eat it. It was the cleanest city.
It's a quite clean city.
Impress us Cajuns while we're up there for the College World Series or not. But that's not what I've been told. I've been told by locals that nope, we keep our city clean. We like the zoo is like impeccable.
It's an immaculate zoo. It's also it's top 3 zoos in the world, maybe top 2 now. It's quite something.
And you left to go to California and eventually made your way to board games. How did that work?
When I was going through the process of bringing Food Truck Race to Kickstarter, I was feeling sentimental, a little nostalgic. So I went back on Google Drive to see when was the very first draft I wrote of this game.
Wow.
2013. I have a version of this game that, frankly, was not fun. And turns out there's actually several versions of this game that weren't fun. But I was fascinated by building games. I grew up on board games, grew up on a ping pong table and a board game table.
Yeah.
I think that building board games is the most fun board game you'll ever play. Figuring out how things work, figuring out how people interact with them.
Let's bring in Steve so we can talk a little bit about, because Steve loves food. The Name Father. Hey, Steve, what's up? You like food and you like drink.
I'm okay with food and drink. Yeah, I'm good all about that.
You're good with that. So I was talking to Gregory about his inspirations for Food Truck Race. Why a race, Gregory? I was curious right off the bat because you didn't say food truck, something else. You're like Food Truck Race.
Yep. So a couple things. One, there's some really successful IP around Food Truck Race in television food truck scene with so that helps a little bit. 2, I wanted to build a game that felt like a foot race, where I am in a mad dash sprint to get to a very, very concrete endpoint, a finish line. More specifically, because food truck work, kitchen work, line cook work is a mad dash. There is a ton of prep work that goes into it, but to get through a shift sometimes feels like an absolute sprint. And so I wanted it to really just sweat and tears, just bleed that wind sprint feel.
Steve, I don't know if you saw it, but the first line got me both excited and trepidatious. It says Food Truck Race is a simultaneous play, fast-paced strategy board game.
Yes, it is.
I have a love-hate relationship with those games. Some of them I absolutely adore. Steam Park is one of my favorite games of all time.
Yep.
But some of them, there was one where I'm going to forget the name of it, but you were the owner of a Chinese restaurant and you had
fun concept.
What's that?
That's a fun concept. I'm hooked already.
Yeah, and there was a buzzer. Steve, have you ever played that one? The Dice Tower used to talk about it all the time. And
no, I haven't played that.
Match up all the ingredients and it was a rush and customers were requesting this and customers were requesting that, and it was all at the same time. Oh, it was rough on me. Gregory, sell me on this simultaneous play. I know thematically why it'd be simultaneous play, but what was your impetus in there?
Absolutely, a couple reasons. First, as someone who likes to play board games in board game groups, I tend to play with lighter players. Or lighter weight players, I guess is probably the most accurate way of saying that. And frankly, I'm a bit of a Luddite, and it is annoying when folks are on their phones while playing a game. And so part of the iterations of this game is that not only did it support the style of gameplay where I really want this all hands on deck, you're constantly in a wind sprint to the finish line, but I also wanted to create an experience at the board game table, at my board game table, where everyone's engaged. Everyone has some things to do every single turn. And some people refer to that as a more tactical gameplay or just a bit of busy work. But when, I think my buddy Kirk says it really well, pain when it doesn't cost you anything can be quite a bit of fun. And that busy work, while it can be a pain in your day job, in a board game, it can be a hell of a lot of fun.
All right, so give us the overview. How do you play Food Truck Race?
Yep, you play Food Truck Race. You are a food truck chef in a cramped space, sweating, prepping, plating dishes in order to advance on that food truck race. So the food truck race is literally old-fashioned victory point counter out on the outside perimeter of a game board. That victory point counter, a point is $1. And so you are buying groceries, you are prepping them, turning them into ingredients with a three-sided dice, also a little bit of a randomizer there. You are using those prepped ingredients to plate orders in your line. So each order card you see, those small and big orders on the screen, reference an individual in your food truck line. As you plate them, you earn money. You can spend that money on more groceries or on upgrades for your truck. So you have a little bit of a tableau building element, some engine building element. You have a little bit of an economic engine that you're constructing, but it is true to its roots in that race theme where you are just in a mad sprint making fast strategic decisions on how to make kitchen upgrade combos in order to outcook your friends.
Tell me about the development. Was the playtesting local there to Northern California, or have you been able to branch out and reach out to other people?
Yep. So I've sat at 200 and let's see what the number is as of Saturday, 244 playtests.
Wow.
I've had 50 blind playtests all over the world that include Australia, Singapore, Ireland, London. We've been in Germany, and my hope is by the end of the week, Morocco. Most of my live playtesting has happened at a board game shop that I love dearly down the street from me. It's called It's Your Move Games in Oakland, California, in the Temescal neighborhood. If anyone's in Oakland, definitely check out It's Your Move. Chris works behind the counter. They are an absolute delight. Those Thursday nights at that game shop have really put a lot of love on this game. I also play in a Wednesday night group with my buddy Chris, a few pals from Oakland. And then, I host a lot of game nights at my place, and I put my friends through the ringer. It's kind of one for me, one for them. And so we do a lot of playtesting around here.
Steve, I know it's early in the Kickstarter project, but it hasn't come out yet. But what do you think of the art? What's your first impressions?
I like the look. It's got a real street scene vibe to it. I think that really pops.
Tell us the story about the art and the artist.
Yeah.
How'd you find this artist?
So I really wanted to create a world that felt not only immersive, but busy. I wanted that seek and find style, and you'll see that on the board. It's literally
like kinetic energy right there on in the art,
Yeah. I wanted to feel like we are sitting in a food truck in a busy city block. There's people everywhere, and my ability to move faster is going to reap more rewards. And so when I found Mario Zuka, Mario, I think he's actually listening on this call. Mario, if you're out there, buddy, man, I'm looking forward to catching up with you after this. Mario, I called him cold. I found his website. I think he had posted some art on Adobe's, and I'm going to blank on the name of it now, but Adobe has an artist hosted website. Loved his stuff. He does seek and find styles. He does puzzles. He does city maps. He's big into the food scene. He's running a series of Philly Eats, Philadelphia food themed art that's available, I think, on Etsy right now. If folks want to check it out, it is really cool stuff. Really cool landmarks. But he has a really strong sense of style. It's kind of hailing back to that kind of comic book era with that seek and find from Where's Waldo. But he has a lot of emotion and a lot of sweat everywhere.
Is that you ordering food right there?
It's funny is that our first call together, we had only been on the phone. Our first Zoom call together, we both flick on our cameras, looking at each other, mustache, glasses, nearly bald, if not all the way. We're like, all right, this is too good. We got to put an amalgam of us into the box. And so
that's funny.
We put ourselves as a hangry customer on the front of the box.
Steve, take a look though at that aspect of seek and find and look, the Where's Waldo type style. If you look, there's almost every square inch of this box cover has kind of something to look at, like some hidden little detail.
I gotta tell you, I see two things in the artwork with this one and the scene that you showed before. If you can make this one full size again, BJ, the one that you got there. No,
not really. It's about as good as I can get.
Okay, hold on that one for a second.
Oh, you mean like just solo it?
Yeah, just solo it. Okay. For that angle, you are looking up at the food truck like you're the customer. The person who'd be serving you is going to be in the window above you. There's just something about the composition of that picture that really gives you the sense that you're on the street looking up into the food truck ready to place your order. And if you go to the cover one for the other side, this is where it's going to be a little bit of a hippie callback here. Yeah, that one. That looks like our Crumb artwork, but polished and polished.
That is a good call out, my guy.
Wow, Steve, fantastic.
It looks like that, only like it's been totally polished and finished rather than being the real rough and ready R Crumb.
Yep. Oh, I haven't heard that name in a long time. That's a great callback. That's a great callback.
Fun.
Oh, look at this.
Book of Genesis is one of my go-to gifts to folks. He illustrated the entire book of Genesis.
Patrick says he's got his finger poised on the back now button. Listen, the Newmans Patrick is a sucker for anything that is food related or anything like that. He doesn't always back them, but they're like on his radar. And thank you, Patrick, by the way, for putting me in touch with Gregory on this one, because it's been fascinating to kind of read it. Now, the only problem is it was tough to do a little research, Greg, because there's the BGG page, which is a lot of where I get my info from. It's a little scarce. So here's your chance to tell people what's coming up in the Kickstarter project. What's that extra oomph? I know there's some like surprises, not surprises, but if you get in there early, there's going to be some little lanyard that they're going to get, right?
Yes, indeed. So right now we're using a dollar deposit system. And so if you want to put $1 down, we will give you $10 worth of cards that are exclusive to Kickstarter. We have what we're calling the picnic tables and porta potties mini expansion, where we're just going to layer on some more jokes into this game, some more inside jokes in this game, to create more of that ambiance of what it's like to actually serve food on the street. And if you like seek and finds, every single card that we have, we call them city cards. So mixed into that order card deck are food inspectors, tow trucks, meter maids, picnic tables, porta potties, cockroaches. We have them all embedded in the actual seek and find game board as well. But to the Kickstarter point, my intention is to launch May, June. We have a very attainable goal, but my hope is to build enough of a critical mass on this thing to not only save everyone a little bit of money, but also to be able to build some of the expansion packs, or afford to build those expansion packs that I want to build this year and next. And so on the Kickstarter page, you can follow the campaign today, mashing that notify me on launch button, or join through the website that is in the chat. It all goes to the same place, but you'll see things like our how to play video. We just pushed a couple gameplay videos for both the full game and our pop-up, our play to learn mini game that it's embedded inside the game itself.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, Steve. I don't know if you saw that. Tell me about this, Gregory. One of the things that I like is when a publisher or designer includes a way for you to ramp up, into the game, to onboard the game. And I think you have something like that. Is that right, Gregory?
Around zero.
Yeah, exactly.
Around zero. We play a lot of open hand rounds at my house. But one of the things with an engine builder, one of the things with a resource management game, with a simultaneous play game, they're fun to play, but famously, the chaos can be intimidating for a first-time player. And so we designed a game. I designed a version of the game, stripped down version. It's on the back of the player mat. We call it Pop-Up. In 15 minutes, I can take anyone 9 through 69 through the entirety of gameplay. They can learn 90% of the mechanics. And then we flip those mats over at minute 15. We can launch directly into a full game with zero drag. Every once in a while, I get worried that maybe it's not as good as I think it is. I just tested it over the weekend. It's on video, actually. It's on the website. But you see first-time players go through it with no knowledge of the game. And in 15 minutes, not only pick it up, competent, and then can compete in a full game. That's just cool. 15 minutes later.
So give us the deets. When is this thing? When can people expect it?
My hope, if we launch on May 6th, which is my intention today, is that we are going to be closing that campaign by end of May. It's a 3-week campaign. I'll keep the pledge manager, the late pledge manager, open for about 10, 15 days. And then I have printer lined up and ready to rock and roll. And so there's a decent chance, a better than 50% chance that I have games in people's mailboxes before Christmas. That's my God's honest truth and intention. Obviously, things change, and tariff schedules impact some of these things, and so we're going to do our absolute best to have games to people by Christmas.
That would be great. Let's see.
Yep.
It is definitely a good game. Oh, so Patrick got to see it at BGG Con.
Patrick saw it in the flesh. Now, admittedly, Patrick, I'm speaking to you, speaking around you, but Patrick saw a version of the game that didn't have all 250 play tests worth of feedback in it. We were at about 100 play tests at that point, or 120 play tests at that point. And what I found is that we needed to accelerate a couple of the expansion packs to be able to make the game a full-fledged, completely immersive experience. And so I've actually taken what an expansion pack that was supposed to be later this year. We've accelerated it. We wrote it in as a patch over at Christmas. And it is just kicking ass and taking names now. And it's just nice to see. It just feels like a complete experience, true to the metaphor, and the mechanics are tight.
Are you going back to BGG Con this fall?
That's my intention. Hopefully with something to sell. That's
perfect.
That's the goal.
Oh, wow. That'd be great. All right. So, Steve, give them you have that website handy?
Yeah, you had both of them. They're still in the
there it is.
Chat.
So foodtruckracegame.com. Go to that website, click on the notify, and get notified as soon. This thing looks fun. I can't wait to see it. It's what I forgot what the playtime is. It's under an hour.
60 minutes. 60 minutes.
Yeah. So you got that 1 hour wonder.
Yep, exactly.
Steve, with a different theme. It's got a cool theme with this food truck race, and so I'm interested. I definitely want to take a look at it. That has been fun. And thanks again to Patrick Newman for bringing this to our attention. BJ from Morgan Gumbo. I've got my guest here, Gregory Alford, and we're talking spicy hot games. He's the designer of Food Truck Race, which is coming out on Kickstarter, hopefully in May. Cross our fingers, right? And maybe even delivered to the backers by the end of the year. But there's a game that you had on the show notes, Gregory. This is like a cooperative theme night. I want to know about this game. I've been hearing a lot of chatter. I don't think Steve's heard of it.
No, this is new to me.
So tell me, what is this Wilmot's Warehouse? What a cool name for a game.
Great name for a game. I discovered Wilmot's Warehouse actually at BGG, an open game night. Terrific. And my understanding is, and I don't know the actual facts and details, but my understanding is it's a new team designed it. But you play a warehouse manager in a cooperative mode, storing abstract items in your warehouse. And so you spend 30, 40 minutes with the people at the table cooperatively trying to memorize where you put all of these items in your warehouse. So it's a little bit of a memory game. And then all your customers line up at the very end of the game. You start a timer and they start demanding, I want this one, this one, this. And you have to remember where the hell you put these items. And I know it sounds like memory from our childhood, just turned up on steroids. And it is. Yeah. But it's fun and it's abstract and it pulls people into just a little bit more challenge of gameplay while still having that party game feel to it. There's some fun challenges baked in. It's a lot of fun.
Take a look at this artwork. Like, okay, one of them looks like a taco to me, but everything else could be a plate of eggs or an airplane rudder or, it's like, is that ice cream or is that a roll of toilet paper? Like you have to think of these things in your head, Gregory.
Yep, exactly. So when we played it over Thanksgiving with my sister, and we decided that we were going to theme our warehouse before we ever saw what we're storing in our warehouse. And so our warehouse theme was a Halloween discount superstore. And so then we had to remember what all these items are, abstract as they are, through the lens of Halloween discount superstore. And so you're putting funny names on things. You're doing some color and name association. You're constantly running it back to try to remember where the hell you put the useful taco.
Yep.
And it's quite a bit of fun. It plays in like 40-45 minutes. I have yet to win the minute or less version of the game, but yeah, it's a hell of a lot of fun.
This looks like right up my alley. I'd like to try it. I'm looking at this artwork, Steve. I mean, some of these is that a Pac-Man or is that a chicken coming out of an egg?
Yeah, and it kind of looks like there's like, there's a lot of food references. Like you see the pistachio, you see the beer, you see the taco, But then you turn it upside down, and all of a sudden you're looking at something else. You're always working through the lens of whatever the theme is for your warehouse.
Look at the one next to the
fun.
Pac-Man. One way, it's a thermometer. It's an ice cream cone. It's a microphone.
It's a microphone. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I wasn't going Pac-Man. I got fortune cookie out of that.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. That is this game would drive me crazy in a good way, though. In a good way.
Yep.
Oh,
it may just drive me crazy because memory is.
Memory games are tough, but if they make it fun like this, that's where
make it fun, where it's a goof, sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
so
it seems like this could be cool.
You know what this reminds me of, Steve? So, Gregory, on off nights we play on Twitch. We stream games live on Twitch, and my partner in crime is my nephew Jared, who works at Best Buy, and he kind of runs the warehouse back there. This seems like one of Jared's, when he comes over and says, we had a terrible night. They had 3 trucks and stuff was everywhere. And the manager's like, where's this? And we were like, we think we put it over there, but we go there and it's not, that's what this thing sounds like.
It's exactly
it's Jared's warehouse. It's make Jared's head explode after work.
If we play this live on stream, we're going to call it Jared's Warehouse all night. That's what we're going to call it, Jared's Warehouse.
It's funny. My wife said after she played it the first time, she said, I'm pretty sure that I just staved off dementia for another 5 years. As hard as I just worked my brain to play this game. I know it's a good time. It's a good time. That's
great. So take a look at that. It's Wilmot's Warehouse. I got to check that one out. BJ from Morgan Gumbo. Got my guest here, Gregory Alford, the designer of Food Truck Race. That's right. It's coming out on Kickstarter in a couple of months. So go to foodtruckracegame.com and check it out. But I wanted to talk to you about a game that I've been playing a lot recently. I've played it with my wife, and I'm not a solo player. Steve knows that. I've actually been playing this thing solo too. It's called Run, Run, Run. Have either one of you heard of this game?
This one's new to me too.
Okay. So it came out by 25th Century. Me and Patrick Newman, we both love the games that come out with 25th Century. They have space games, but they also have a lot of small box games, and that's what this is. It's a new edition of a game designed by one of my favorite designers, Bruno Catala, and a designer new to me, Anthony Peroni. And what this is okay, it's an abstract game like Wilmot's Warehouse, but it also has kind of a cool theme. We're cat venturers, so think Indiana Jones, but cat themed, and we're exploring this Temple of Doom with a bunch of dog zombie mummies that are going to try to attack us for disturbing their peace. Okay. And the theme carries through with the artwork and all that, but surprisingly, what could be just an abstract, chuck some dice, roll through the dungeon, try to get out alive. Sometimes those games get kind of abstracty and sometimes they get more thematic. This one to me falls more in the thematic side. No, you don't feel like a cat. I don't mean it like that. I just mean that, the symbols and everything else, it creates this tension that kind of pulls you into the game. You really do feel like these adventurers that have to use their lamps, their torches carefully to explore the dungeon and explore the temple and try to find the big bad and get out alive. There's only 3 things you can do in the game. You either explore, or you're fighting the mummies, or if you need to reset, you can cooperate. And that's just pull all the cats together, share whatever stuff we've come up with, torches or cards or things like that, and then start exploring again. But the timer is every time you're exploring that temple, you're starting to find these little hidden passages. And when you find enough of them, the big bad of every scenario comes out. There's three or four of them, and they're in progressive level. I'm not a great gamer, as Steve will tell you, but I've had so much trouble beating this game. I mean, even the basic one is really hard. The dice play into that a little bit, but it's not real time like your game, Food Truck Race. It's turn based, but you've got this really delicious decision of, I need these tiles on my hand with all these different symbols, and I need to place them either 3 of the same color so I can get some benefit, or 3 different ones so I can get a different benefit. But I also need the tiles to fight, because when you do end up on the same space as a mummy, you've got to spin your tiles, because each entrance on those tiles, can you see the little tiles here? I don't know if that kind of shows up or not, but each entrance on those tiles is a dice that you can use to attack. And some of these guys are pretty tough. So you need a lot of dice, but to do that, you got to spin your tiles. If you don't have any tiles, you can't move. If you can't move, the zombies are going to kill you. So it's one of those games that it's stressful in a good way, cooperative in a good way, where you're both working together. I don't think I would play it with more than 2 people. It feels like one person could maybe dominate a little bit, but other than that, obviously, you don't have much of an alpha problem when the dice control your fate, right? I mean, sometimes that just happens. You're like, even if the person's an alpha and says, "Oh, Steve, you should do this," Steve might still roll, more zombie dice. So
that does sound like me.
The dice sounds like a lot of fun.
Sometimes the dice hate us, right?
It's funny you're describing this. This is not a real-time game, but I'm getting some Escape the Curse of the Temple vibes out of this a little bit.
Take the timer out.
Take the timer out.
Take the timer.
You still have the unfolding map and the ways in and out of rooms.
Yep. Yeah. Take the timer out. Bring in zombies that are going to be stalking you all over the board, and a big bad that you have to gear up for by getting your character, to have enough torches and to have it's one of those games where it's spatial. The first time I played it, I was like, okay, well, let me just run, get the big bad, and get out. Well, the dungeon, the temple is so small that the zombie catches you right away. You need to get the map as big as you can, and you need to be on the other side of that map to give yourself time to get out before the zombie, crawls through and stomps you. Now, there is a benefit. If you roll question marks on those dice, which haven't come up here, each cat venturer has a special power, and that's kind of fun. They're not like game-breaking powers; they're just little mini powers. But it is fun to try different combination of cats. This one might get some free torches. This one might get a better dice roll. So that's kind of cool too. Look, it's a 30-minute game. It's typical Bruno Cathala, where there's a great combination of strategy and luck in a family weight game, and it's got this cool art. So it's a plus for me. I do like it. I'm not that big into long cooperative games. It's just, I'd rather play, if I'm going to play a 2-hour game, I'd rather try to beat the heck out of you, right? Beat your brains in. Spirit Island is just too long for me. It just takes too much time. This is more my speed, 30 minutes. What do you guys think?
Very fun.
This does look interesting.
Yeah. Gregory? I'm curious, is it more boss battler or is it more dungeon crawler? Like, is it 50-50? Like, how would you summarize it?
Both. Yeah, it's both. You're exploring the temple so that you can get all these little combinations of tiles in the right combinations so that you can build up your characters. And it's not building up characters as in attributes that are going to get better. I don't mean it like that. It's just getting the torches and getting additional tiles. Tiles are they're not hit points for you, but they're almost hit points because you got to spend those to beat the zombies. But at the same time, it's definitely a boss battler. You're going to be taking out all the different little zombies, all in preparation for, at some point, you're going to have enough connections that it's going to wake up the big bad. And that's how you win the game. Defeat that big bad, get out alive, and you win. So, you can't do it unless they do that. And if the big bad makes it back to the entrance and seals the tomb, you're not getting out and you die. Right. So it sounds like a good combo
of those two. Escape Curse of the Temple is a get in and get out, but this has the idea that you're being chased. Kind of like I think that Patrick was talking about Clank there too.
Yeah. Gregory's got a good point. And that's really the key. Well, the two key differences, of course, it's not real time, but at least my plays of Escape Curse of the Temple, I never played any of the expansions. So maybe they have big bosses in the expansions, but it was mainly try to find the exit. Yeah. As soon as that jungle, that drumming of the beat starts getting loud. So yeah, that's the two differences there. Okay. Unfortunately, I've never played Clank Catacombs, which surprised me. I mean, I own everything else for Clank except that. So have either one of you played Clank Catacombs?
No,
not Catacombs.
That's not the one I've played. Well, that's run. We got time for one more game. If you got a second, Gregory?
Absolutely.
DJ from More Game Gumbo. I've got my guest here, Gregory Alford, who is the designer of Food Truck Race, coming out on Kickstarter, right?
On Kickstarter.
Yeah, Kickstarter, yes, coming out in a couple of months. So take a look at that. But Steve's played a game that I adore. I'm crossing my fingers. I'm hoping Steve says the same thing. Steve, tell us about Flip 7.
Well, we're going to have to tag team the rules a little bit here, because the last time this got played, there was at our gaming guild at the college, there were a lot of people who wanted to play, and I kind of just walked them through the game while they figured out what to do. Flip 7
Steve, it's the greatest card game of all time.
Game of all time.
Do you know how we know that?
It says it on the box.
It says it on the box.
The very, very humble designer has decided to let you know that this is the greatest card game of all time. But it does have what I think might be the greatest mechanic of all time, which is push your luck. I am a sucker for a good push your luck game.
We love our push our luck, Steve.
And it's got a really nice design here where you've got cards being played, and you have to make your choice about whether you basically decide to stick or hit. You're going to decide whether you stop and collect your points or keep pushing. And the deck of cards is put out in such a way where the number of numbers of that card is equal to the number. So if you've got 12 card, there's 12 copies in the deck.
Wait, what about 11s?
Interestingly, BJ, that one has 11 cards.
What about 10s?
I think you're picking up on the theme here.
There you go. There you go.
So if you want to get big points, you are going to have to risk continuing to draw, because if you draw a second of the same card, that's your bust condition.
That's right.
And so it really does reward you for continuing to push, but at the same time, it makes it so you're going to have to push to be able to get those big points. There's also some extra cards that are plus cards and a multiplier card, and some things where you can force someone else to freeze. Or force someone else to draw 3 cards in a row. That could BJ, it's almost like you played this game before.
I love this game. I absolutely.
It is such a good little game.
I played it with Verla.
We saw this
so many times at BGG
at PAX here in Philly.
Oh, that's where you saw it?
Yeah. I saw it for the first time there. There was a group of people who were playing it. They were having a really good time. And I was waiting to get online to get it next. And they looked like they were having such a good time. I heard somebody on the other side of the booth say, "We've got one left." I went over and bought it before coming back to the table. We bought the last copy of this at PAX and sold it out.
Hey, look, after BGG Con, it's sold out everywhere. Now it's back in stock from what I can see. I've given away a couple of them already on game nights. People will go, "Oh, wow." This was a couple of months ago. And people will go, "Oh, wow, I really want to play this." I'm like, "You can have it." And then I got to try to find out. I had to track down a copy from Denmark to replace the last one that I gave up. But now it's available. The OP is printing it out. Wayne from the Beans and Dice will tell you that Carlos is also a big honk for this one.
Wayne's there.
Carlos from the Beans and Dice.
Yeah.
And you know, he's bought like 10 copies. I'm on my 3rd copy already. I've given away 2 copies of Flip 7. Yeah. It is fantastic. So Gregory, think blackjack. But instead of 21 going over 21, it's pairs. Pairs bust you.
I like it.
Yeah,
and you need points. So you want the 10s, 11, and 12.
You want the big points, but it increases your bust rate.
They bust. They bust you. Now there is one little thing. It kind
of reminds me of Scout a little bit, right? It a little bit of that push your luck.
Yes.
It's not quite trick taking. It's not quite set making, but it's kind of that adjacent space.
And there's no real hand, essentially. You are getting dealt cards in front of you.
Flip it over.
But it does have that vibe that you want to convert points. And you might be tempted to play safe. Somebody else might be tempted to keep going. That's what I love about push your luck. When someone gets out in front, everybody else has to push their luck.
So I played it with Patrick at BGG Con. I don't remember if Patrick was in this particular game, but there was one particular game where there was somebody that was about to win, and one of the players, there's a unique mechanic, Gregory, where you not only get the points on the cards, the 4, 5, 6, 7, 10, 12, whatever it is, you can also get the plus points, like a +2, +4.
Yeah.
You could even get a doubler card, which is awesome, ×2. But even more than that, if you can draw 7 numbered cards, not the special cards, 7 numbered cards, you get a bonus 15 points, and you're safe for the round. You can't bust. So I saw somebody score over 100 points because they had the doubler. They had the 10 points. They had a bunch of the big points, and they pulled to the 7th card and scored 120 points to get over the 200 as the winning score.
Which is what you need, because if you are going to have that massive come from behind win, you have to have that feeling like you pulled it out by the skin of your teeth.
Oh, yeah.
And you get that with things like can't stop. If you just keep rolling 7s and keep rolling 7s and keep rolling 7s, you can all of a sudden find yourself making a run like that. It's got to have that special little something that every once in a while just gives you a wild run that you'll remember for a while.
I love the speed of this game, though.
It's super quick in and quick out.
It's like I look at Gregory and I go, in, out, hit, stay. Yeah. I'll take one. All right, Steve, take one. You know, like just even when you get busted or somebody freezes you or you play it safe and say, I've got 30 points, I'm just going to sit.
Yeah.
You're only out for a minute because it doesn't take long to bust somebody, right?
Right.
Oh, perfect.
And you're not even really out because you can spend the other time like you would be at Can't Stop saying, they're not going to be a chicken. You're going to take another one, aren't you? You basically are still in the game because you're talking trash to other players, getting them to keep going.
Yeah.
So games like Food Truck Race or Concordia or Scholars of the South Tigers that we've been playing crazy. Those are games I'll never think of, right? Gregory, it's just you came up with this great idea. There's a lot of mechanics that you got to flesh out all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm genuinely mad that I did not invent Flip 7. Like, Steve, all the elements are right there. How did no one think of this game before?
Agreed.
Oh,
you're right with the timing of it too, BJ. With Gaming Guild on Wednesdays, we've got about 2 hours worth of time between classes.
Yep.
And I taught it to them, and they played it 4 or 5 times.
Yep.
And
Steve
just shuffled up, built it again.
Steve runs a gaming guild at the college that he teaches. So
Oh, super cool.
idea.
Yep.
Super cool. It kind of reminds me, a different game, right? But it reminds me of that stroke of brilliance that is the crew, right? You've all of the familiar elements, and they just had right time, right, brain spark, and all of a sudden you've got this absolutely addicting framework that, my mom can't put it down. Mm-hmm. And it's wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful to play a trick-taking game in that framework.
Right.
Oh,
really there are some games like that where you think, how has this not existed forever? I remember thinking that with when I first saw Just One. How has this game not existed forever?
Right.
It's such a simple little idea for a party game.
I
feel the same way with this one.
I think we're still going to be playing Flip 7 for years. It's going to be one of those games like Can't Stop, like Scout has become, like games like that where we're just going to keep playing. It's going to keep coming out. Yep. That's Flip 7,
I'm going to call the board game shop down the street. It's Your Move here in Temescal, and I'm going to see if Chris has a copy, and I'll go grab it tomorrow.
You should do that pretty quickly because I did put the link to It's Your Move in there. If they've only got one left, somebody's going to pick it.
Thanks.
I'll lay it
citation
on
says
Chris see if I can get it a hold a copy for me.
All right, that's Flip 7 from the OP. It's now available out there, so go get a copy and let us know, Gregory. Hit us up. Let us know on Instagram what you find.
Need citation. Is that Aiden in the chat?
Is that?
I think is one of the handles of one of our students from the Gaming Guild. Yeah, it is.
Hey, welcome aboard.
Hey, Aiden, how you doing?
Oh, Aiden can help us with this next game. So,
maybe?
Gregory, this is a board game show. You know what that means?
I think I do.
We got to play a game. Steve, tell us about the game.
The game we're going to do tonight is, I think, the first game you developed to play on this show, wasn't it, BJ? The Envie game? Okay.
That's right.
The Envie game, Envie being that Louisiana Cajun term for what you have a hankering for, what you're jonesing for, something that you would do if you could drop everything right now. If you
like in Oakland, they say jonesing, right? They're jonesing for something. They're hankering. They got a hankering for something.
Exactly. Yep. So what this is going to be, we're going to play with Gregory. Gregory's going to pick a game from who knows where, as obscure as you'd like it to be. And we're going to play kind of like a little 20 questions game here. And we'll have to ask questions of Gregory to try and figure out what game he's referring to. But it's going to be a race between me and BJ, and also maybe between anybody else who's in chat. Aiden, Patrick, anybody else who's still in there to try and you can post your questions in there too. We'll notice them and ask about it.
The chat beats us sometimes. They really do. The chat beats us
a good day. But you're on a little bit of a hot streak there, BJ. You've had some pretty good quick hits lately. Yeah.
Yep.
So you have a game, Gregory?
I have a game, and actually I got the prompt for this. I was doing some research last night, getting ready for this call, and I ordered the game, and it got to my house in less than 24 hours, and so it is actually sitting on my desk under my camera right now. So we can have a big reveal if you get it.
Oh, perfect. When you stump us, you can take it out and put it literally right in the screen in our faces.
Yeah.
Steve, coincidentally, that was going to be my first question. I was going to say, hey, is this a game that you could order in 24 hours?
And the answer is yes, my friend.
And have it on your desk. Yep.
All right.
Oh, it's nice to have a guy like Chris right there, huh? So it's nice.
Absolutely.
All right. So, Gregory, you know the rules of the game?
I know the rules, and I have some notes here. So if you see me looking on screen, I'm just checking to make sure I don't give you any wrong answers.
That's okay. Right. Steve, I'll let you take the first question. What you got?
Okay. Is this a game that has come out within the last 5 years?
5 years? No.
No, older than that.
Is this a competitive or a cooperative game? And I'm gonna guess it's competitive.
It is a cooperative game.
Oh my god!
Ooh, all right,
Ooh.
great question. Narrows the field some. Okay.
Ooh. You know, Gregory, in all the times we played the Ombi game, which is, I don't know, 30 or 40 times we played it, and we've had very few cooperatives. This is going to be interesting here.
This will be interesting.
We're going to have to retrain our brain.
Yeah. Okay. Is it predominantly a card game?
It is predominantly a card game.
Does it have dice?
It does not have dice.
No dice. Card game. Okay.
Well, it can't be The Crew because he said he and his mom played all the time. So it's not.
Wouldn't that be a
yeah.
No.
That would be some 4D chess going on there in a big way.
So Gregory, I was a guest on a show one time, and I've been playing this game a lot, and they actually reversed it. They made me play the Ombi game on their show, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna be so clever. I've been playing this game a lot. I'm super excited about it. Second question, Chris goes, "Is it Watergate?" I'm like, oh my god, how did you know? He's like, because you have it right behind you, bonehead. You literally have it behind your head. I was like, I might as well take a guess. I was like, oh yeah, I guess that wasn't very smart.
Okay.
That is too fun.
All right. So older than 5 years, co-op, card game, no dice. Is it let me see here. Is it a game that someone in the hobby would recognize the name of the designer of?
Ooh.
Yes.
Ooh.
Okay.
Come on, Chat Krewe, help us out here. We got a bunch of people in the chat, actually.
Patrick, you still around?
Give us some guests here. Oh, is it still in print?
Ooh, good question.
As far as you know.
It would have to be if you got it 24 hours ago.
And I think that it is still in print.
Okay.
Okay. Still in print.
Oh, Steve, you're up there.
All right.
So recap, we've got a card-based game with no dice, older than 5 years. It is still in print, but it's got a very recognizable designer, a cooperative game.
I'm gonna go out on a limb, and since he's got so many good cooperative card games, is it a Matt Leacock game?
It is not a Matt Leacock game.
Okay.
A cooperative card game.
Pretty proud of myself right now. I thought for sure y'all would have this.
Yeah.
BJ,
well, you get on this side of the camera.
I would not envy your job, my friend. I am happy to be. I'm happy to
shade at us, Steve.
Yeah.
It's.
You want to try and narrow some theme here, maybe?
Gregory, there's so many times like we'll get it sometimes, and then there's so many times it was like I can't believe we didn't get the game.
Oh, of course.
I know.
Now a couple of times people have come. Wink, wink. Alex Goldsmith have come with a game that's so far out of left field we'll never get it. But
yeah.
Oh,
does it have fireworks?
Oh, God, Wayne Kruger's got it. Does it have fireworks?
Does it have fireworks? It does not have fireworks.
Not Hanabi.
Not Hanabi.
Oh man.
Okay. Because that would have been right there with designer and everything.
I thought Wayne had it. I did.
That's a good question, Wayne. Good question.
Oh man, I thought it was Hanabi because we got a famous. Oh, does it have a tile laying component along with the cards?
It does not have a tile laying component, Patrick.
Okay.
He says no, Patrick.
Okay. I think I want to try and work on theme with this because even though it's cards and it might have no real, it might be purely mechanical. I wonder if some pasted on theme might help us with this. Is it a theme that is fantasy based?
No.
Is it
one of desert? That would have been the Leacock one, I think.
No.
Yeah.
So you're thinking Friday from Freedom and Freeze?
Oh, I think he was thinking Forbidden Island or Forbidden Desert.
Oh, yeah.
That would have been
Matt Leacock.
But it's not a Leacock game. Yeah,
it's not a Leacock game.
Okay, so and it can't be Freedom and Freeze either because that does have an island. Friday, right?
Friday does have an island.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but Friday is also more like I guess you could call it a co-op game, but it's more solo.
Yeah, but I played it with two people though. We just did it together. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So come on, Wayne. What do we have here? Solo.
We have a famous designer.
We got to get that designer. Is it a German designer?
That's a good question.
It is not a German designer.
Steve,
There was hesitancy in that. It's going to be an Austrian designer.
I know it's the way he says it. It's like, oh, it's not a German.
It is not a German designer.
It is not a German designer.
Does it have?
It is not a French designer, Wayne. And
that's
it
good.
Does not have
that might have been the Grizzled.
theme.
Oh, I love that as a good call.
Or Gloom, right? No, or is Gloom?
Gloom is as competitive as you can. You're
You're
killing your own family and making other families stay alive.
And it can't be the Grizzled because the Grizzled is French designers. If I remember.
Grizzled is French designers, yeah. And I wouldn't have known the names of the designers as much as the artist, the Charlie Hebdo cartoonist.
Right. Yeah, it's Hebdo art. Okay,
that's a good one. Yeah, I could see you doing that. That was nicely played, Wayne.
Oh, wait. Is it the Unlock series?
I'm going to have to do a quick Google on that because I'm not familiar with the Unlock series.
Okay.
It's a co-op,
co-op resettable
escape room kind of thingy.
Their escape room.
It is not.
Okay,
nope,
so it's not. We'll make it general. It's not an escape room game.
It's not an escape room. It's not like Exit. It's not.
Nope, it is not escape room themed.
Okay.
Or function.
Good question from Wayne. 2-player co-op?
Ooh, Wayne, you are on fire, my friend. It is a two. Oh, let's say it's not exclusively a two, but it is primarily a 2-player co-op. Cindy. Okay, so here's a question. Can I ask non-yes/no questions?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It is a male
because 20
designer.
questions are copyrighted, so we're not going to step on their shoes, right?
Is it a Button Shy game?
Say that one more time, Steve.
Button Shy Games, the producer. I was thinking it might be Sprawlopolis.
No, that's the little wallet games. Those little 18-card wallet games. No.
Cards co-op.
Male designer.
Fog of Love.
Fog of Love.
French. Well, is it a European?
For a clue?
Is it a European designer?
It is a European designer.
Oh. Okay.
Primarily
Bang is competitive, yeah.
Yes, but also the primarily 2 thing.
Oh, that's true. I hadn't been thinking of that.
Primarily 2.
All about 2-player card games are all competitive, though. I'm thinking like Targi and Lost Cities, and Jaipur. Oh,
all great games. Some of my favorites.
Unfortunately, if you look at my shelf over there, like there's maybe one shelf of cooperative games. It's just not what I do. Oh, 13 Days. That's
it is
a good
not
one.
13 Days, Wayne.
Oh, that's a great call.
But I love the energy coming out of Wayne over here. Great guess.
Wayne's close. Wayne's close.
Okay.
Time Stories is more than 2. That's 4. Yeah, it's not Time Stories because that is French people. Wait, it's not French though. It's not French. Oh man, I think we need a clue. What do you think?
Steve? Let's go for a clue.
All right. So I found out about this game because my game, Food Truck Race, on screen, and also I'll just flash the box there because
there you go.
You gotta brag a little bit. Let's get it on the main stage. Yep. Food Truck Race. Look at that. Going to Kickstarter in May. Mario Zuka did the art on that. Food Truck Race is compared to this game frequently, compared to another game this designer made frequently because it is simultaneous play and it leverages a bit of an economic engine building mechanic in an abstract way.
Wow. Simultaneous co-op.
Simultaneous game. So I'm going to make sure I say that correctly. I'm referring to the designer.
Right.
Who designed another very, very famous game that is compared to Food Truck Race for its simultaneous play.
So it's not this game, but it's another game by this designer that is...
Exactly. This European designer who's definitely not German.
Definitely not German.
Definitely not German.
It is not Escape Curse of the Temple.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be annoying if I brought up Escape Curse of the Temple and somebody else said
it's not Kitchen Rush.
Yeah.
But I do love a kitchen-themed game.
Oh, man. I'm telling you, I am tapped out unless we can.
Would a country of origin help?
Yes.
Perhaps.
Yes. Yeah. Let's go with that.
Austria.
I said that's why he said.
Okay, so that's Wolfgang
German,
Warsch. It's got to be
but
Wolfgang
speaking.
Warsch then, right? Is it Wolfgang Warsch?
It is Wolfgang Warsch.
Is it the mind?
It is the.
Oh, wow. Good job, Steve.
Well done,
Good
fellas.
job.
Well
I wouldn't have gotten
done.
to it without Wolfgang Warsch. That was totally teamwork there, BJ.
Why, Steve, did we not think of the mind like right away? You know what I mean? Like cooperative.
See, I was thinking card game, but unlike the others who were thinking Hanabi, I wasn't thinking it as just the deck. I was thinking cards being like the main part of it, but I didn't make it a small box in my head. Good connections.
Man. Oh, Gregory, that's a great choice of a game.
Good choice.
Great clues.
I'm very proud of myself, and I get to play this weekend now because this whole thing inspired me to see if I could order it in 24 hours. And
okay,
so
now
this is the mine, Wolfgang Warsch. If anyone's so this is like inside baseball a little bit, but I have a day job that is not designing board games. I work in sales enablement in a technology company, and so it delights me to no end when I see folks who have taken a night and weekend hobby project, passion project, and turned it into a career. And that's Wolfgang Warsch.
Yep.
Prolific designer.
Mm-hmm.
I think he was a chemist, a biologist. Like he's a literal scientist who started making games and has had a prolific career. So
well, tell
us.
us.
It was just his birthday last week.
Oh,
is that right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Why the mind? What attracts you to the mind?
So I came up on the Rook. I came up on Rook. I came up on Euchre. I came up on Pinochle. I love trick-taking games. I love blind bidding games. I love games where it has that kind of push your luck crowd management in a card game. And so when I heard about the mind, it was through hearing about Quedlinburg, playing that game, enjoying that game a lot, which is what Food Truck Race is compared to quite a bit.
Okay.
And when I saw it, I thought that would be a fun game to play. My friends would enjoy playing that game with me. And my trick-taking, game-playing friends would love this game. Nonverbal communication, gut instincts, a little bit of betting. Sounds like a lot of fun.
Reading.
Great choice.
Reading
Yes,
people.
indeed.
Reading
Table
the
reading.
situation. Yeah.
Yep. Great choice. I've always had fun playing the mind. And that's the Envy game presented by our friends at Game Toppers LLC. Don't forget, people, make your game nights a showstopper when you play on a Game Topper. And maybe throw a Food Truck Race on top of that Game Topper, Steve. What do you think?
Love that.
That'll work.
We love that.
All right, board gamers, that's it for another episode of Gumbo Live. I want to thank my guest, Gregory Alford, for coming on. Hey, Gregory, if people want to know about Food Truck Race or just, chat with you about some of the games that you talked about tonight, how can they reach out to you?
Yep. So if you go to foodtruckracegame.com and you put in your email, the automated system pushes you an email from me. If you respond to it, it goes right to my inbox. If you don't like putting your email address in boxes, reach out to me at Gregory@foodtruckracegame.com.
And that's Gregory with 5 G's.
With 17 G's.
Thanks,
but in a
that's
very
an
literal
inside joke.
sense, I'm out here building a small business. I would love to hear what people like to play, what their buying decisions around games, and would love to connect with folks. So please don't be shy. Patrick knows I respond to those emails.
You should go visit Wayne and them at the Beans and Dice podcast. Thursday nights, they do a live board game, like a sports show, sports talk show. They do a board game talk show like that. So they'll take live callers and everything.
Reach out to me, buddy. Love to chat.
All right. Make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/BoardGameGumbo, and our YouTube channel. It helps us get the word out about all of our upcoming shows, including no show next week, because just like everybody in America, heck, everybody in the entire world, we're off Tuesday because of Mardi Gras, right, Steve?
Of course.
Mardi Gras holiday.
Love to hear
That's
that.
right. Next week is Mardi Gras. We will not. Oh, Wayne says he will be reaching out to you there, Gregory. So they do like to bring on Kickstarter guys and chat with them. So that'll be fun if you do that. And if they do that, Wayne, I'll make sure to call in and harass Gregory. So I'll ask him about his second grade teacher again. We'll do that. We'll do a little math.
Love that.
So we're off next week, Mardi Gras holiday. We will not be playing your games live on Twitch every other Tuesday night, but we'll be back in a couple of weeks. I am BJ from Board Game Gumbo, and for Gregory and for Steve. And go check out Food Truck Race coming out on Kickstarter in May. Till next time, laissez le bon temps rouler.
Good night, all.
Take care, y'all.